Hello, avid learners. Today, we're plunging deep into the roots of a literary work to understand how history shapes our interpretation. In other words, we're hearkening back to the historical school of literary criticism. Just like this tree, every piece of literature has roots grounded in history. When we read a story, a poem, or any piece of writing, we are not just interacting with the words, but also with the entire world that influenced those words. The historical school of literary criticism seeks to understand a literary work by situating it within its historical context. And this approach posits that literature is deeply influenced by and reflective of the time period in which it was created. By exploring the social, cultural, political, and even economic conditions of a specific era, historical criticism offers insights into the text's themes, motifs, and character dynamics. This method not only provides a richer interpretation of the work, but also sheds light on the prevailing values, beliefs, and tensions of the period, revealing how literature both shapes and is shaped by the broader currents of history. But let's not keep it all theoretical. Let's look at a practical example. Today, we'll look at Maya Angelou's Men. Written by the remarkable Angelou, this poem digs into the dynamics of gender, power, and personal experience. And to truly grasp Angelou's intent and the power of her words, we must first recognize the historical and personal backdrop against which she wrote. Born in the 1920s, Angelou came of age during a time of great racial, social, and gender-based strife. Angelou's own life, facing racism, surviving sexual assault, and growing to become a powerful voice for the marginalized, all play into the layers of her poetry. Now, when we read Men, we can't help but notice the nuanced portrayal of the interplay between vulnerability and power, desire and danger. The poem's depiction of men as flashy conquerors and women who watch and wait gives us a direct insight into Angelou's perspective on gender dynamics. Historically, it reflects the societal norms of her time and, on a personal level, her own experiences with men. When I was young, I used to watch behind the curtains as men walked up and down the street. Wino men, old men, young men sharp as mustard. See them? Men are always going somewhere. Notice the difference in movement in these words. The narrator is still and watching, almost stuck. While on the other hand, men, no matter who they are always going somewhere. Then the window draws full upon your mind. There, just beyond the sway of curtains, men walk, knowing something, going someplace. But this time, I will simply stand and watch. The men continue to be on the move while our narrator remains in the shadows behind a curtain. These words reflect fundamental differences in how men and women interacted with the world in Angelou's early years. Women were expected to be passive and removed, while men were expected to be out in the public eye and doing things, knowing things and going places. These words capture how it feels to be the onlooker as a woman in her time. Historical criticism asks us to consider questions like, how did the gender norms of 20th century America influence Angelou's portrayal of men? How did the civil rights movement and the women's liberation movement shape her perspective on power dynamics? Yet, it's also worth noting how timeless Angelou's observations feel. Her words still resonate today, illustrating the ever-evolving but somehow constant nature of human relationships. You see, every literary work is a product of its time and a reflection of timeless human emotions. By marrying a text with its history, we can better understand its depth, richness, and relevance. So, next time you pick up a literary piece, take a moment. Dive into its history, walk its streets, feel its pulse, and I promise you the text will come alive in ways you never imagined. Thanks for joining me today. Go deep, explore the roots, and let history guide your literary journey. And if you found this video helpful, smash that like button, subscribe, and feel free to let me know which school of literary criticism you'd like to explore next. See you next time.